What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Dennis Nderitu at Nderitu Basketball HQ. Without further ado, let me just get into it. So, Mutinous, Morans, damning letter that may have cost Australian coach Liz Mills her national basketball team job. So apparently, the Kenya Morans and their funny way of communicating wrote a letter and saying that they didn't want Coach Liz Mills coaching them. It goes to show you how unprofessional these people are. So Morans made it clear that it will be in the best interest of the team for Coach Liz Mills to step down as the head coach. When I see this statement, this shows me that these people are complacent, they're rigid, they do not like change, and they're not willing to improve on their game. Because Coach Liz Mills, she had a fair share of ideas that she wanted to share. Made a couple of videos about, addressing like coaching, asking her to be accountable, but it became deeper that, this team, the way it's so dysfunctional and poorly run, and the way they, run things, they're not acting like a national team. They're acting like a high school team at this point. So let me just get into this article. This article is brought to you by Mozart Sport. We're just gonna, break it down slowly, bit by bit, putting my 2 cents around it. So let's get into it. So a brief communique from Kenya Basketball Federation proclaiming Coach Clifford War returning to the helm of the national men's team. Kenya Morans last Sunday left so many questions on the fate of, trailblazing Australian tactician Liz Mills. So they announced unprofessionally that they're bringing back Clifford War without even telling Coach Liz Mills. So you can see the rot that is within the system. KBF is showing how to run a franchise in a very poor way, in a very incompetent and unprofessional way. And there's nowhere for them to hide. There is no escape, KBF. You are being held to the fire once more by showing how incompetent you are. Yeah, Mozart Sport has learned that the abrupt and unceremonious exit of Coach Liz Mills may have emanated from a player's revolt over her management style, conveying to the KBF executive committee in a tell-all letter signed by majority of the national team players. So I'm back to what I said earlier in the video. These people are acting as if they are not even acting as if. These Kenya Morans are acting like a bunch of high school players, yet they're a team that is supposed to represent a whole country. Like out of 50 million people, these are the 15 guys who are selected, put together so that they can represent Kenya in the national stage. By them doing a tell-all letter signed by all the players, saying that they don't want this coach, or they're using the back door to get her out. I mean, it's like they're trying to, use the back route to get her fired. They're trying to, get to the high house to get her fired so they can change, return to everything to the old ways without even accepting the new. And then they ask themselves why they are not winning games and why other teams don't respect them. And this is what it is. Written immediately after the team returned from the AfroBasket Championship in Rwanda, where they managed one win in 4 matches, the 4-page letter titled Team Morans Vote of No Confidence in Liz Mills enumerate a number of issues of the players where the players felt while working against the team's cohesiveness. So yeah, the rift between Australian players, not Australian, the rift between players and the head coach Liz Mills have seen the Australian tactician exit the Kenya Morans. So let's just get into it. So teamwork and appreciation of what each of us brings to the team has been the secret to success. In other words, togetherness has been our number one identity. This culture of success has changed since the appointment of Coach Liz Mills as the head coach. We believe she brought forth a toxic culture that has totally changed the trajectory of the team. Okay. Her culture and style of coaching has a corrosive effect on the team's morale and has fostered a climate of disbelief, fear, division, anxiety, and uncertainty in the team. Read the introductory part of the letter. I mean, this is just This is just so upsetting, disappointing, disgusting, unprofessional of people who have been selected by a whole country to represent a whole country when they write such stupidity. Coach Liz Mills is not just an African coach. She doesn't, she's not even African, she's Australian, but she not only has, knowledge on African basketball, she's from Australia. That means she has traveled around the world giving her 2 cents on basketball. So she knows what she's doing, okay? So these people are just used to kinda basketball. I mean, that's the Kenyan version of, just push the ball, just score, use no brain, no skill, no skill, no mental mathematics in basketball. They don't use that in Kenya. Even if you look at the Kenya Morans film studies, you will see a pattern. You will see Kenya has no offensive sets, defensive sets. There are no, schemes. I'm pretty sure Coach Liz Mills, maybe she had those offensive and defensive schemes that they will have played. They will have observed play calls. But the thing that, gets me a lot is Coach Liz Mills tried to do her best, give her coaching prowess to these guys, but these guys were adamant and refused to take any knowledge or even absorb anything like a sponge. Nothing. They got absolutely nothing from these guys. From out of 7 games, the Kenya Morans did not absorb anything of significance that they would have used even after the departure of Coach Liz Mills. The way they forcefully, unprofessionally, wanted to kick her out. They wanted like the KBF to force her way out, which she did. They would have just ironed out the details of why there's disagreements, and they will have left in good terms. But the way that KBF dismissed Coach Liz Mills, she will never come back to coach Kenya Morans, because the impression that has been left in her head is these are people who have refused to change. They're old fossils, and they don't even respect the way the game has advanced and changed, and this is the reason why they'll keep losing, and they will keep losing. So yeah, Coach Liz Mills dismissed the letter as lies and slander. Of course, a whole federation throwing her under the bus and telling the whole world that she is the reason why the Kenya Morans failed in the Afrobasket. It's sad and upsetting. While KBF Secretary General Ambrose Kisoi maintains that Liz Mills' terms of engagement were until the conclusion of the Afrobasket, the damning contents of the players' letter cannot be washed away, because even if her contract was ending and she was not going to coach the Kenya Morans after the Afrobasket, why throw salt further to the wounds by slandering her name while she's going out of the door? I mean, doesn't that make any sense? It's such a very unprofessional thing to do, especially when a coach of that caliber has decided to coach a national team. So it shows you how immature these people are, how, lack of a better word, stupid these people are. The players accuse the tactician of poor communication and disrespect to the playing unit and Kenyan basketball as a whole. I mean, where's the difference? Is it Kenyan basketball or international basketball? Because that's where we draw the line. Kenyan basketball will take us nowhere. International basketball is what is being played in FIBA. And that's the reason why we can't match up against Senegal. We can't match up against Nigeria. We have no chance against Cote d'Ivoire. We don't have no chance even with the team that we are pulled in the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. We can't beat Senegal. That's a fact. We can't beat Senegal. We cannot beat Egypt. And we cannot beat Congo DR, because we still keep maintaining Kenyan basketball. Kenyan basketball means nothing. International basketball is the way to go. If you're not going to respect analytics and stats the way that I've been breaking them down earlier, and you have a guy like Ronnie Gundo coming in and telling me that my videos are trash, although he didn't say that they were lies, it's amazing to me, since he's part of the Kenya Morans. So that's just a side note. Since joining, her demeanor and mannerism has been that of a savior who is here to save a pathetic basketball system, or shitty Kenyan basketball, as she often refers to it. Of course it's shitty. What's good about Kenyan basketball, especially from the national team? It's shitty. They have shitty basketball with shitty players. Yeah, and the letter reads, the players accused Liz Mills of planning to retire players as she rebuilds for club World Cup qualifiers. Yes, they should be retired. Actually, they're old fossils who can't even run up and down the court. Citing comments she made during a post-match press conference at the AfroBasket moments after Morans fell to Nigeria. The comments were a response to a question on plans to incorporate younger players like Albert Odero and Fidel Okoth, who was in the post-match interview with her for the next assignment. Yes, fire all the players and rebuild around these two young players, Albert Odero and Fidel Okoth. I feel like Fidel Okoth wasn't given any minutes, so he didn't even have any effect. But if he was given some significant minutes, he would have produced the same the way Albert Odero did. Instead, you have people like Bushwa Mukota, Ronnie Gundo, Valbuza, who do Desmond Will, who do absolutely nothing. These guys are like 7 foot and they can only grab 4 to 5 rebounds a game and average 4 points, 0 points through and they are unplayable in the final minutes for the basketball. Why would you rebuild around those shitty players? That's the question. However, her delivery may not have gone down well with some team members who felt that it was not her place to say who was set to retire and when. It's the coach's decision. A coach decides who retires on and who stays, and the coach should not relinquish her title just because just because her players feels upset. It's so amazing that some players have egos that are softer than Charmin, or they are softer than what? They're softer than peanut butter, that they come in, they want people to cater to you, service to you. Why do you feel like you have to be coddled? You need to be, handled with gloves so that you can cater to your feelings. This is basketball at the end of the day. It's win or lose. If we lose, we're out. So yeah, she was then quoted as saying, AfroBasket was pretty much to pay homage to the older players like Griffin Ligari, Bushwa Mukota, Eric Mutoro, Victor Bosire. These guys who have built the Morans, I doubt. This was very much their tournament, and we are very happy to have them here with that experience. But once World Cup qualifier kicks in, it is all on the young guys. True. All these guys are just old fossils who have refused to retire. Griffin Ligari, 36. Tomo Mukota, 29. Eric Mutoro, we don't even know how old this guy is. Maybe you don't even know how old they are. They're too old even to bounce a basketball. Who else? Yeah. However, in their letter, the playing unit termed her sentiment. However, in their letter, the playing unit termed her sentiments during the interview as disrespectful, and to mention in the mentioning players to the players mentioned, finding out they were being retired without their knowledge at the press conference. So it's funny. They didn't even pay attention to what she was saying. She was saying the team needs to improve, and old people doing things the old way is not going to work, and old people are too slow. Because even if you look at, I'm saying they're too slow. Yeah, what you're going to say that I'm lying? No, look at South Sudan. The age, the oldest player you can find there is 22, 23 in that roster. They're young guys. They're rebuilding through the young guys. You can even see a team like Senegal. The unit, even Nigeria, the unit that we matched up against, they were not that old. And it's funny that, Kenya just wants to, reuse the same players to make new changes. When I see these players coming back when they are being announced, I just saw, it's like, I have an analogy. It's like, you go to the toilet, use a tissue paper, it's already used, then you want to reuse it again the next time you go to the toilet. So that's what I feel about that roster. So this statement killed the morale of the team on so many levels. You see, people have feelings that are softer than, baby oil. This was unprofessional and uncalled for. Yeah, softer players who want to be catered to their feelings. Players are working hard to build their brands, to make a living out of this great sport. Yeah, not the Morans players, not them, because they have nothing to offer in the international stage. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Calling them old and talking about retirement without the courtesy of letting them know beforehand does not help the cause whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, it's a coach's responsibility to speak the truth and say the way it is. So if you don't like it, you can as well leave. You don't have to be in that roster. So yeah, that's why the team were so soft. They wanted to have her fired, which is so sad. So yeah, the squad also accused Liz Mills of disregarding the team's past performances like AfroCan 2019. Past performances, listen here, you people, because I know you watch my videos. Past performances mean nothing. Bro, AfroCan is a tournament designed for these low tier teams. So if you're the best of the worst, that doesn't mean that you're gonna, contend with a team the likes of a Tunisia, the likes of an Egypt. Did you see Tunisia there? Even if you beat them, they didn't have that main roster there. Or if they did, they didn't see the urgency of winning that, because that AfroCan meant nothing to them. They're looking at the big trophy, like the AfroBasket, in which you people didn't even have the battery for it. So yeah, I mean, alleging that on numerous occasions she has voiced that most of the team's previous wins were against inferior teams. This is the same thing that I've kept saying. Kenya only thrives, this current roster only thrives in teams that are low tier, teams that they are bottom of the barrel. So yeah, that's the truth. The bottom of the barrel teams, that's the only time Kenya shines. Like when they beat Mali, I've seen in their social media pages, which they apparently blocked me, that they keep reposting like the Mali highlights just because they are good. That's because that's the only game they won. They're trying to conceal the truth and trying to control the narrative. But bro, I know the truth, and Kenyans know the truth, and the whole world knows the truth, that you suck, and that's the truth. She has voiced that on the team's previous wins were against inferior teams. This is very offensive to us, knowing that some of these moments are the greatest moments of our basketball careers. Oh my God, it's just too funny to read. Oh man. Very offensive. You see, when you have players who have, feelings softer than baby oil, you get such comments. I mean, this comes off so feminine. I mean, why should I cater to your feelings? Further, the letter accuses Liz Mills of changing a winning system that proved to be successful from pre-qualifiers. Well, that's debatable, considering the fact that Kenya lost to Senegal in a blowout win in their first game of the FIBA AfroBasket qualifiers, and they scored only 2 points in the fourth quarter. Was this success to you? And they're returning the same coach who was there when we were being blown out. Is this the Kenya Morans that is going to win the AfroBasket in the next 4 years? You've got to be kidding me. Give me a break. Changing the whole system without proper regard to the available personnel and the team's identity is one of the reasons we have only won 2 games under her leadership. Well, under her leadership, at least you won 2 games. Under Cliff Ward leadership, you only won 1 game. Only one. She managed to win 2. So she did actually in the lower end, she did good. I mean, that's in the lower end, not in the lower end. Because, Kenya has no expectations whatsoever in basketball, especially the Kenya Morans with their old fossil roster. They have no expectation. We totally understand tweaking and additions of players needed to be done, but there's no way to justify scrapping out a whole system of play, both offense and defense. It was justifiable because she is the coach, and every coach has her philosophies. If you don't like it, retire and let another person play. Out of 50 million Kenyans, there are better players than you people. These old fossils, these Bush Wamukotas, these Ronnie Gundos, all these people, they are nothing. They should be retired and hire young talent from Street League Africa in Umoja. You should get people from Div 1, Div 2, Premier. There are better players than you in your position. Out of 50 million Kenyans, bro, there are better players than you. That's the whole damn truth. The players also took issue with alleged division into local-based and international-based players, saying that constant undermining of the former led to feelings of disrespect. Again, citing and post-match interviews at the AfroBasket on and off the record comments which Mozart Sport could not authenticate. So, yeah, I mean, Everyone was just saying things left, right, and center. I strongly suggest that you speak to those who did not sign the letter regarding their experiences at AfroBasket and in Cameroon or for the AfroBasket qualifiers last year. These players are not represented by those who claim to be representing them. As a professional, I will not respond to questions regarding lies and slander. So Liz Mills, said that. I mean, she's not going to respond to it. I mean, why would you? She is a coach. She knows what she does. She has her own playbook that she follows. Why would you try to, why would you try to, slander her just because you are incompetent, like the Kenya Morans team, the roster? They're full. It's a reflection of incompetence. So why would you slander her when she's competent with your incompetence? That's the question. They reinstalled Owor, who had been Moran's tactician since 2018, yet failed, guiding the side to the silver and in the inaugural African held in Bamako, Mali in 2019 before propelling them past others, South Sudan. South Sudan beat us in the AfroBasket especially. You can try to, say the pre-qualifiers win was huge, but it doesn't mean shit in the grand scheme of things. In Nairobi and the AfroBasket pre-qualifier held in January 2020 and against the first round of qualification, they won only one match against Mozambique to put their foot into the championship. So this coach, even if they're bringing him in, he's just setting them up for failure. I mean, he's gonna, try to find redemption in Senegal, but Kenya is not gonna beat Senegal. We all know Kenya is not gonna beat Egypt. We all know Kenya is not gonna beat Congo DR. So yeah, I mean that's the damn truth. I called it here. You heard it here first. Owor exited in February 2021. You got disrespected and fired, and you are coming back because you are no better than the bums that they have in the roster. Upon the arrival of Mills, whose role at the time was undefined, even as the federation sternly insisted that the former was still at the helm. The disrespect in the federation is just too much. It was Owor who finally made his public exit from the team, having just rejoined Rwanda's APR at the time. Owor cited the nature of his job and the demands that the club were presenting for his unavailability in the February window of the qualifications. He, however, expressed unwillingness to coach Morans if the chance was. Expressed willingness. He presented the chance at a later date. So yeah, he was willing to get back after being disrespected. That's how low Kenyan coach of that caliber is. Mills took over the team in February 2021. At the time, the team needed one win to qualify for the AfroBasket. Yada yada yada. 28 years. We know that. And a win that came in the match against Angola. So the 1 point win with the Tyler Ongwae buzzer beater, who Tyler Ongwae, mind you, quit the Kenya Morans because of their incompetence that they had in the roster. With the ticket to the AfroBasket, Mills became the first woman to qualify a team to the Continental Championship and subsequently the first female tactician to lead a team to the championship. Mills got a second win with the Morans during the championship. So yeah, after losing the first two games against Cote d'Ivoire and Nigeria, 88-70, 55-71 respectively, Mills charged the secure progression of the pre-quarterfinals by beating Mali 72-66 in the last game in Group C, where they moved to the next level, where they lost to South Sudan and they exited the whole run. So yeah, I mean, then yeah, that's it, man. I mean, why bring back a player like a Ronnie Gundo who averaged 5 rebounds, 3.3 points, and had a plus minus of minus 2.3? Why bring a player who's 7 foot and can't even grab 10 rebounds? Trash, bro. I mean, that's it, man. If you guys like the video, make sure to leave your feedback on what you feel about the Kenya Morans, what you feel about what they're going to do in the FIBA World Cup qualifiers, which is going to be an epic fail and flop. Mark my words. You heard it here first. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notification posts, smash that like button because it helps me out a ton, and peace out.